to our two spotlights. Want to show you a video from an organization you've probably heard something about over these last couple years. Most recently is an overstatement, but recently, when the fires in Lahaina on Maui destroyed that town. And when I say destroyed it, I mean went through it and leveled it. Lots of us felt compelled in the moment. Man, I want to do something. Can I give? Can I get a team together? Can we go over there? And some of you have. I was talking to Jesse. Jesse's been over there, boots on the ground, participating in what's going on. But there is an organization that the Vineyard is connected to that is globally present in the moment called Convoy of Hope. And if your church is not familiar with Convoy of Hope, I really want them to be familiar. So turn your attention to the screens. We're going to watch a brief video about Convoy of Hope.
Hi, this is Hal Donaldson of Convoy of Hope, and I just want to say thank you for the ongoing partnership with the Vineyard. Together, we've now served and shared the message of Jesus with 200 million people. And thank you so much for all that you've done to help the poor and the suffering escape poverty and hopelessness, and to help them enter into a relationship with Jesus. More than 500,000 children are being fed and discipled each day at schools around the world. And thousands of mothers each year are being empowered to start their own businesses. And tens of thousands of farmers each year are learning how to increase the yields of their crops. In addition, together, we have responded to hundreds of disasters and served children and families in need across the United States. On behalf of the millions of people who have received tangible and lasting hope, thank you for linking arms with us to be the hands and the feet of Jesus. One of the reasons this partnership has been so effective is that it's been built on trust and a reliance on the Holy Spirit. It's been a pleasure, an absolute pleasure, working alongside Bert and Evelyn Wagner, Phil and Jan Strout, and now Jay and Danielle Pathak. And time and again, I've watched your leaders and your pastors display an authenticity and an approachability that reflects the heart of Jesus. It's truly a privilege to be in partnership with you. Recently, an interviewer asked me what the future held for Convoy of Hope. And I was tempted to share our ministry projections and our goals for 2030. But instead I said this: I pray that Convoy of Hope in the future continues just to rest directly under God's spigot, and that we're drenched in His favor. But I went on to say, I know that depends on our obedience and our reliance on God and maintaining a spirit of humility. That's my prayer for Convoy of Hope, and that's my prayer for the Vineyard, that we would experience everything that God has in store for us. May we continue just to sense His presence and to bring Him pleasure. God bless you.
So if you're not familiar with Convoy of Hope, this is my new friend, Bryan McClees. If you've not met Bryan, he's one of the, what's a good way to put it? He's just, no, not shorter. He is, this is one of the guys that, I remember at a really hard moment in my life, the Lord said, Mike, when you grow up, who do you want to be like? I was offended by the question because I thought, I am grown up. I'm 26. I've got all my ducks in a row. Like, I'm lined up, right? I've learned a thing or two in the last 22 years. But Bryan's one of those guys that, like, when you grow up, you want to be like. And this is the organization that he's with. Bryan, what do you want us to know? And what could some of these folks do if they want to find out more about Convoy of Hope?
So there may be a slide that has a QR code. That one. If you take your phone out and just get that QR code, do you know the trick where you can, like, do it right now, and text it to yourself if you haven't already got it. I may not look familiar, but we go way back. I went out on a wagon train to help plant churches in the Northeast with Ken and Joni Gullickson and MC 510 and Fuller, and that's kind of the history. But God is doing something in raising up a collaboration. How many know there's a lot of pain in the world right now? And it can be overwhelming when you look at that, and it can paralyze us. But together, linking arms, how many of you know that just the scale of the need determines collaboration? But I just want you to know, we're on track with over 400 corporate sponsors in the United States who've all signed off that they understand their goods and services are going to advance Jesus' gospel. To the tune of $500 million worth of goods, gifts in kind, from Culligan International, Bass Pro, Nestle, on and on and on, so that every dollar you give through Convoy of Hope is multiplied 7 to 10 times. This year, right now, where we're in October, through your partnership, Convoy of Hope has mobilized churches to be first responders and has served over 2.8 million people, creating 2.8 million opportunities for Can I Pray For You right now. Yes. Places like Libya, Morocco, Florida, mentioned Maui, wildfires, earthquakes, disasters in Syria, Libya. So I'm really here to say thank you, and it's working. And in addition to those things, over 30,000 women have been empowered to start businesses at a 98% success rate after 5 years. Over 20,000 farmers have been trained, all through local churches being the point of education and empowerment. We are on track currently feeding over 500,000 children a day, but we want to be feeding 1 million children every day by 2030. Would you believe and pray for that? And all it really takes to generate that from us in partnership with corporate America is a day's wage a year. And that's what that QR code will help you get.